Reports and rumors have come out that suggest 343 isn't in the best place with Halo Infinite, y'all. One of them by Nebel, who suggested that it was possible 343 could launch Halo Infinite without multiplayer, according to sources. He deleted the tweet after 343 denied the claim. But then another report came out, this one I saw by Windows Central, that said 343 is going to release a post-launch patch that will bring in ray tracing for the Xbox Series X and PC. When I saw the rumor about them potentially delaying the multiplayer, I know you and I were like, oh no, delay the game. You can't do this, 343. You can't launch Halo Infinite without multiplayer. It's just not gonna work. But then 343 denied the claim quick enough where it made me go, okay, maybe we can lay off the delay train now. But now they're gonna have a patch that's going to include ray tracing after the game is launched? You gotta be kidding me. 343 needs to delay Halo Infinite. I don't think there should be any debate about this. You can't launch your flagship game, the game you've been boasting about, and the game that's poorly demonstrated the power of the Xbox Series X without ray tracing. That's something Xbox has been bragging about. It's not on their product page per se, but it's something we've heard them talk about in the press. And they're gonna launch the game without ray tracing? So you gave a poor first impression of your flagship game, graphically at least. I'd say the gameplay could be arguable. I'm more positive about the gameplay personally, but that presentation as a whole was But then you're gonna launch a second poor impression that we can actually play. Like, the common refrain I've seen is, well, that's the reason I don't need the Series X. That's what this is about. Getting an Xbox Series X in Microsoft eyes. And Microsoft can't figure that out. People want to see what this Xbox Series X can do. And you're not even going to give people a reason to buy it? So if that's the case, Microsoft doesn't need Halo Infinite at launch. Delay the game. Microsoft keeps telling us they have to launch with Halo Infinite. We know why, because they think it's going to be a console seller. And it will, but not like this. What's impressive about Nintendo is that after the Switch launched, more people have been buying the console. Why? Because people who buy Nintendo consoles buy Nintendo games. Switch launched with Zelda Breath of the Wild. People bought the Switch. And you know what? People who didn't buy the Switch, they bought it after Mario Odyssey. They bought it maybe for Splatoon 2. They bought it for Animal Crossing. You release games and people will buy the console. Microsoft can have this same approach. The people who are going to buy Halo Infinite are going to buy Halo Infinite whenever it launches. And if they don't have an Xbox Series X by the time Halo Infinite launches, then they will buy an Xbox Series X, but only if there's a reason to buy the Xbox Series X. And if Halo Infinite does not have ray tracing, if Halo Infinite does not take advantage of the power of the Xbox Series X that differentiates itself from the Xbox One X, then people aren't going to buy Halo Infinite along with an Xbox Series X. They will wait for something else, or they just won't buy it at all. What's sad about this is, has 343 had a positive launch with Halo yet? I mean, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure Halo 4 launched fairly well, but the game wasn't great overall. But then Halo 5 didn't launch well, but turned out to be decent. And we all know the disaster that was the Master Chief Collection. So it seems like 343 is really good at improving things, but they're not good at getting things ready for launch. Like, to their defense, it's hard to take someone else's work and keep that same vision and keep that same foundation. But if I'm a leader at Microsoft and I'm looking at 343's track record, I'm gonna sit Bonnie Ross down and have a respectful conversation, letting her know that you're gonna get more time to finish this game, but your team can't mess this up. That's the message I would send. You gotta get this right. We can't have a Master Chief Collection. We can't have a Halo 5 Guardians. And that's the thing. 343 is completely capable of making a good game. They are. Outside of the campaign, Halo 5 is good. Despite all the Master Chief Collection crap at the beginning, The Master Chief Collection is a worthy buy at this point. 343 is absolutely capable of creating and programming awesome things. But for some reason, they have trouble coming out the gate with a strong start. That can't happen this time. And not to mention, if Microsoft is that concerned that people will not have stuff for the Xbox Series X, it's not like we don't have stuff that we could play that would take advantage of the hardware. If you got Game Pass, you're set. Do some side-by-side comparisons of how games run and look on Xbox One X versus the Xbox Series X that demonstrate that difference. I'm buying a Series X just on performance alone, personally. Running Borderlands 3 is an absolute nightmare on the Xbox One. But it's not like we don't have games to play that would keep us busy while we wait for Halo Infinite. If anything, we could play Halo 5 with increased frame rate and graphics and all that stuff while we wait for Halo Infinite. It's not like we don't have stuff to play. Console launches generally don't have a ton of stuff at the beginning. That's okay, Microsoft, delay Halo Infinite. So what do you think? Should Halo Infinite be delayed? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments section below this video. And if you enjoyed the video, whether you agreed with it or not, I'd appreciate a tap on that thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll talk to y'all later.